Hello, hello. So today we're talking to Yvette. And what I would like to do, so you have Life Her podcast, correct?
Yes.
I love it. So I would just like to start off with you speaking about your podcast. I know you just told me off the recording that you are usually the one doing the interviews and not being interviewed. So this will be a fun change of pace. Um, so we're just going to start off with you telling me a little bit about yourself and what you do and what sings to you, and we will just go where we go.
Yes. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I really appreciate this. Um, I am a podcaster. I've been doing it for 3 years now. Previously before podcasting, me and my mother was planning on doing a podcast together. And then she passed away, so I just kept it going for me to continue to do it. But before I even started podcasting, I've been an entrepreneur since 2008, owning a daycare center and also having a youth program for young girls. So entrepreneurship has always been in me. I've always loved helping people accomplish their dreams the same way I accomplished mine. And that's really, to sum it up a little, of exactly what I do and what I've been doing.
And so you've also got a background in teaching. So do
Yes.
you want to, I would love to hear like how I feel like teaching is such a calling, right? Whether you're doing it credentially and in the larger scope of, we'll call it the larger scope of the government for the most part, or if you're doing it just out there on a YouTube channel or however people teach, right? Because I feel like it's such a calling to be a person who loves to gain knowledge and then who
Yes.
actually goes out there then and shares the knowledge. So I would love like a little bit of background on that piece of your history.
As far as teaching, I used to be I started off as a daycare um teacher when I was 18. I had the hardest time looking for a job when nobody hired me because I didn't have any experience or nothing. So as time progressed, my brother ended up having my nephew and I ended up working and becoming a daycare teacher. And I was actually in college to become a nurse. And as I kept working in the daycare center, I went from infants to toddlers to being a cook, being a preschool teacher, school age teacher. I done did every position. And then like right when I was getting ready to graduate, I had like a year left in nursing. Was going to I changed my major to teaching. So I ended up changing it to early childhood education. So I had my degree in early childhood education. And then I started working in I live in Akron, Ohio. Um, so I started
The
becoming
Akron Zip.
yeah.
I'm from Indiana, so I know
Oh yeah, you're
Akron.
not far. Yeah, so I end up becoming a sub a teacher in Akron Public Schools, and I worked with kids integrated preschool. So I did that for some years, and sometimes I did the behavioral children in high school. I worked in those classrooms as well. And I also end up transitioning, and for about 5 years, I worked with Migrant Head Start, which is located everywhere. The main campus is in Rio, Texas. And a lot of the migrants come here to Ohio in Hartville and during our summers, and then they leave during our winters. And that's when I go to Texas half a year, and I live here in Hartville half a year. So it was pretty cool. Just teaching the kids really reading. Reading is like so important. And believe it or not, a lot of kids lack it. The comprehension skills are very lacked as well. So I really, that was like my main focus when I was into teaching a lot more. I still do it in my daycare center. I prepare my preschoolers for kindergarten. A lot of times once they in kindergarten, they are actually at a first, second grade level of their academics overall. So I really enjoy it. I love to see the expression on the kids' faces and the moms' faces, how excited they see how their kids has grown academically.
So what do you think is like the biggest reason behind the lack of comprehension and the inability for kids to make that jump? And let me preface that or add a little aside in there of I was a hooked on phonics kid. So I fully like
Um,
you're singing to my heart right now.
Well, you know, a lot of it starts at home, and I could speak for myself personally. My mom really didn't know how to read too well. So for my mom, the way she learned how to read is the way she taught me how to read. So it kind of like helped me lack in a lot of areas when it comes to reading certain words because she only taught me what she knew. So when I was in school, you know, sometimes I learned a little, sometimes I didn't, because, you know, just me knowing the way that my mom taught me. So sometimes it comes from home, and you never know where the parents are academically either. So sometimes we blame parents, but at the same time, we can't blame them too much because we don't know how far they are academically when it comes to reading and stuff. So that's why the parent teacher conferences is important, the communication all the time is important, and also having a great relationship with the parents so they could be vulnerable enough and comfortable enough to speak to you about situations like that as well.
Let's dive into that piece, right? Because vulnerability, like right? It's a hot topic that everyone's talking about or like trying to talk about because
Mhm.
it's a scary, hairy little thing, right? Because it's in
Yes.
everyone's life. It's in all facets. It's from and it comes from so many different things, right? So let's just dive into vulnerability. What's your take on vulnerability? Where are you at? Where do you stand? How do you
Um,
exercise it in your life?
I'm very vulnerable. A lot of times vulnerability comes in to play when it comes with you being honest. So, it's a part of you being honest with yourself and also honest with people. And then at the end of the day, who cares what they think? Who cares what they say? Just as long as you expressed yourself the way you wanted to make you feel better, that's what matters the most. And sometimes we hold ourselves back because we don't know what type of energy we're going to receive right back from the other person. So the more you don't care, the more comfortable you could be off anyone's response of things that you say and do.
So, what would be a couple of tips that you would give to someone in terms of like taking those steps to be vulnerable, or in terms of like how do they get to that place of not caring?
Um, one of the things is not take anything personal. You can't take things personal off what people say and do because a lot of times it's their own personal issues and it doesn't have nothing to do with you. It's just something that they personally have going on with themselves, and it's something that they have to deal with. And another thing is we can't take on other people's issues and problems, because that's what causes us to have more issues and problems. So we just narrow things down and we actually see exactly what's wrong with us and focus on ourselves, we will understand the the abilities and superpowers that we have to actually just be vulnerable and be ourselves and feel comfortable with it and have the strength and the faith within ourselves to be able to continue to be that way, because it opens a lot of doors for us as well. And you could develop a lot of respect from people because you don't run into a lot of people that.
So, in terms of vulnerability, I want to kind of make the link between vulnerability and trauma. So, because I know it's like, for me, it seems like the more people I see and interact with, sometimes the amount of trauma or the depth of trauma is directly linked to their ability to step into vulnerability. So, I would love to get your take on that and anything that you know want to share around that.
And it comes from things that people say to you. And I've dealt with that. I'm like the first in my generation to become an entrepreneur, the first to graduate college. I'm a first of a lot of things. However, behind that, it was, you're going to grow up and have all these babies and you're not going to be successful. Oh, and then when the world was changing, you know, we were so used to going into a college and sitting in front of the instructor and actually getting our work and walking to class to class. However, it transitioned in the 2000s when we were able introduced to online school. So when I started doing some classes online, oh, that's not real school. You're not going to graduate. You're not going to do nothing, you know. So I've done had people say so many things to me to a point I had started to believe it. So with me starting to believe it, it it dimmed my light for me to not be vulnerable and not be outspoken the way I am now today. And I mean, truth be told, I probably just now got to this point, probably like 4 or 5 years ago. And it's mainly stems from when my mom passed away, because my mom was more or less my voice, and now I know that she's gone. I have to have voice for myself and have the strength to be able to stand up for myself, you know? So it comes with a lot with trauma, and, and and a lot of times people don't realize I'm doing a lot of things, but I got to a point like, you're not gonna dim my light. I'm cool. Like it's not about to happen no more.
That is fantastic. And that's one of those things that happens all the time, right? With like, and sometimes it happens so subtly that we don't even realize that it's happening. So do you think
Yes.
that if your mom was still here today, that you would be as outspoken as you are?
No.
You don't? That
I
was like
think
your pivotal shift.
yeah. I wouldn't be as outspoken. I don't think I would have gotten to this point. It was probably would have still took me a while, but I was growing in that phase. But from the experiencing, planning her funeral and seeing how people are the 2 weeks of planning a funeral and 2 weeks after when the funeral is over, it changed me, because you have people say they're going to be there for you. I'm here if you ever need me. I'm praying for you, or even expecting a lot of things or seeing a lot of things when it comes to that, even when it comes to finances. A lot of evilness sparks up when it comes to someone passing away. So at that moment, I had to build and develop a lot of strength for myself to even know how to deal with certain things and people and situations. And I was like, I'm not about to be quiet anymore. I'm about to start speaking up for myself. I don't want people to just say any and everything to me, especially when it has something to do with your character. You know, you have to always protect yourself at the end of the day, because another thing I noticed, like, all you have is yourself. You know, and you don't realize that sometimes you could still have someone in your life that loves you and care about you, but when it comes to like literally you going to bed and dealing with everything yourself, it's only you.
100%. 100%. No, I love this. So I think that brings up another kind of hot topic. You're talking about going to bed. Like what in the realm of self-care, and sometimes I feel like we mesh self-care with like maintenance. So I'd love to know like what are the things that are like your maintenance, like non-negotiables, and what are the things that you do for self-care that keep you in this state of alignment and that keep you in like, I'm here for me and I'm showing up for me.
You know what's so crazy? My self-care was horrible. It was really horrible. And I could say that this year was my first time really putting self-care in motion. I have not been taking care of myself. And it just come from me grieving for so long, because not only I lost my mom, a year later I lost my husband. So it was a lot on me, and I was still grieving my mom. I didn't even get to my husband yet. So by the time I got to him, it was more of me losing myself. So it really, this year is my first year to actually just take care of me. I ended up taking a break from podcasting in November of last year, and I'm just now getting back started. But it took a lot of therapy. It took a lot of Pilates. It took a lot of walks in the park. It took a lot of praying. It took a lot of things for me to actually get where I'm at today. And one thing I can say, I am loving this self-care.
Good.
I am loving it. It's making me feel like a superhero. Like, like
That's good. Like it should.
yes, it makes me feel really good, really confident. Is helping me actually deal with a lot. And one of the things that helped me the most is I have a playlist. So I have a playlist of like different songs that I liked as a child, or different songs that I knew that my mom liked. So listening to that playlist, music, good music, it helps you get through a lot of things. It does.
It absolutely does. Oh man. There's so much magic and so much gold in all of that, right? Because it's not ever one thing that brings us back, right? Like
Yes.
it's never just one thing. Like therapy is one aspect. Making sure you get enough sleep is one aspect. Getting those walks outside, like I have the most beautiful information come to me when I'm outside and in nature and walking, right?
Right.
But music, like it just it just moves you, right? Like
Girl, it's everything,
it
okay?
is. What is your favorite genre of music?
You know what's so crazy? I really don't have a favorite, but if I was to mix up a playlist, I would pick pop.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you are moving through something challenging emotionally, do you have like a go-to song or a go-to artist right
Oh, that is a good question. I will say Pink Print, Nicki Minaj.
now? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I will say that. I like a few. It's like a different edge that she have on there with her singing and rapping at the same. It gives you a different type of vibe of Nikki.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I will say that. Yeah.
Okay. So when you're just like feeling yourself, you're like, yes, I am I am here. I am in my beauty. I am in my glory, and everybody else better look out. What song would that be for you?
Oh man. Again, you'll see right through me. That's another Nikki song.
Okay, so a Nicki
Yeah.
fan. I love it. I love it. I love
Yes,
it.
I love Nikki.
I'm a
I've
big
been
Lizzo girl.
You a big
Like,
Lizzo girl? I like Lizzo
oh,
too. I love
the
Lizzo.
first time I heard Soulmate, I was like, fuck yes, this is my song. Like, I don't need nobody else. I am my own soulmate.
Yes.
What's another one? I think it's called Girls.
Yeah, I know what she's talking about.
That's
Yes.
me and my business partner right there. Like, we're about to fuck some shit up. No, it's oof, oof. I love it. I love it.
Yes.
Okay. So what, man, I don't even know how to transition from this because like I could just sit here and talk about music, right? So
Yes.
what would you say in the last, let's talk about the grief for a minute.
Okay.
I know we were flying high and now
I know,
now
right?
we're just going there, right? Um, let's talk about the grief because I feel like so many people, I don't want to say that they don't navigate it properly, but it's such a personal thing and it's so different for everyone. So, what were some like key takeaways from, I would say, like when your mom passed versus when your husband passed? And where are you at with all of it now?
A few takeaways, meaning like,
Like what was like the biggest, let me give you a for instance or an example.
okay.
And this might circle back a little bit to a point that you've made earlier. I know that when my dog passed away, he was my heart dog. You know what a heart dog is.
Yes.
And it was like losing a child. And I was so devastated and attempting to navigate and not having people who understood was incredibly difficult. But then I remember, and if she hears this, she might kill me, but I remember my best friend, she was like, um, I didn't feel supported, right? But I was also at a place in my life where I didn't know how to ask for
Yeah.
support. And her
Yeah.
comment was to me was like, if you needed support, you should have reached out. And I'm like, that's not how support works. Like when you were in the
No.
depths of the shit, you're not
Yeah.
reaching out, right?
Yeah.
So I, let's just take that example of wherever that takes you.
Um, it's so crazy. My cousin, she's like my sister cousin. Our moms are sisters. She was around me every single day. She checked on me every single day when my mom passed. And even though she was around every day, I still felt alone. I still felt like I didn't have anybody. I still felt empty inside. I just felt like I was just like a walking zombie. Like it was for a very long time. I could say about probably 3 years of her being gone. I felt like I wasn't here. It was just I was just really just going with the flow. On however the day go, it'll go. Oh well, so be it. Shove shoulders, whatever. So having that feeling is just it's terrible because you already know it's certain people you do want to reach out to you and care, and it's like they don't. And it's like they be like, I'm just giving you time, or you should have called me. And I'm like, me calling you is like really difficult. I can't call you because shoot, I want to call my mom.
Yeah.
It's just like you just don't have the energy or the time or the mental capacity to even think so far fetched the way other people would think. And they won't understand until they experience it. So a lot of times they have so much to say, and you be like, dude, like, seriously, I can't. It's nothing personal. You didn't do nothing to me or nothing. It's just an emptiness that you have within you, and that person that you or left is like the only person that can fulfill it. So that's probably like one of the like toughest things that I even still deal with today, cuz sometimes I don't talk at all, but this year it's like I'm talking. I'm going to talk more because I will meet some amazing people, and I won't follow up with them. Hey, how you doing and all this and that. So I gotta get better with that. I do.
And I think that goes, I feel like that happens to everyone, right? And we also go in and out of cycles and phases of that too, or at least I know that I do. Um, but yeah, like when you lose someone and to me, grief can come and it has so many faces and it can show up in so many ways.
Yeah.
And I talk to so many people that they're like, oh, I just left this job or I was fired, or whether it's a breakup or a death, or like even through your own personal growth, right?
Hmm.
Like having that experience of like, oh shit, like I'm not the person that I used to be.
Yes, it changes you.
Yeah, let's talk
And
about that.
yes, I swear, if people say they knew me that haven't been around me in the past 5 years, you don't know me.
You don't,
You
exactly.
don't. It changes you a lot because your life was like it surrounded that person. My life was my mom. I talked to her literally every day, all day. And then my husband, we got all these plans. We're saving up money. We got a 5-year plan, 2-year plan. We have all these plans, and then all the plans are gone. So it takes away your identity. And you have to figure out, okay, so who am I about to be now? Like, what are my goals for myself now? This person isn't here no more. I can't move forward with that. And I already have plans further on with that. And then I have this other person that's gone, and I had to figure out what am I going to do then. So for a long time, I was lost. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. What was I doing? Um, who I was. I really had to discover who I am because it just left. And now it's like to a point now I just feel resilient. I feel stronger. I have so much faith. Sadly, I don't know if it's like sad or not, but I'm not afraid to die at this point. I feel like um it's just something that God does for a reason. We never know the reason, but it's like I'm just ready to just live because life is literally so short. So I am going to do any and everything possible that I want to do so that I'm happy and I say that I've done it. So it just really, I'm living life on my terms.
I love that. I love that. And the feeling that I get from you, you're just so, oh, like your energy is so beautiful. You're just so open.
Thank you.
It's so light, but it's like a refreshing. Like it's just, you're just like, I don't even know how to explain it. I wish that like other people could feel what I'm feeling
You're
right
not
now
the
from
first
you.
person that said that.
It is, it's so beautiful. So who are
Yeah.
you now?
Um, I'm just Yvette. I am life her vet, and I guess it brings a lot of shed a lot of light of me actually naming the podcast that. And I'm just like, wait a minute, life her vet. And I'm like, yeah, it literally is me and my life and who I am. I love inspiring people. I love giving back. I love uplifting people, and I love seeing them for who they are, and I love telling them right from wrong. I love just being me, my authentic self, because I feel like it's no other way I can be. And I'm just sticking to
I love it.
it.
I love that.
Yeah.
And you see things in people that they don't see in themselves.
Oh yeah, all the time. And I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you. I'm that friend that make you hold yourself accountable. I am.
Good. Everyone needs a friend like that. Everyone needs a friend like that. Like,
Yes.
honey, I love you, but we need to have a chat.
Yeah, that's me. Because you're not about to self-sabotage yourself around me. No, you're not. And we're gonna have to reverse that.
I love that. I love that. So, would you say that that's your superpower?
Definitely. Definitely. It gives me my very own CPR. Just seeing people happy and transitioning them into who they really are is like it's a superpower for me.
It
It's
is a
a
superpower.
yeah, it definitely is.
What are your other superpowers? Because I know that's not it.
Um I really feel like that's it really. And just being a business owner. I feel like that's a superpower for me because I have the ability to help anyone pivot from their business of what they're doing currently or pivot to a new business. And I know how to gather all of that information and be able to tell you what you need to do and where you need to go, the direction, maybe even the connections and who you should reach out to, who should be your mentor, like different things of that nature. Like when it comes to business and structuring it and everything like that, I will say that's another one of my superpowers because I'm really good at telling people different things to help them elevate.
I
Yeah.
love that. I love that because you see so many entrepreneurs who they have unrealized potential, right?
Yeah.
Like they have
Hmm.
they think that like this lane is their lane and that's got to be the lane the whole time.
Hmm.
And it's like, yeah, that's one of your lanes, but you got 17 other lanes over here you could be tapping into and you're not doing it, right?
Hmm.
So walk me through that journey. Like what's that like for you when you're working with someone to help them go from one lane to 17 lanes?
You know what? It's pretty cool. Um, but it's hard for people to try new things and be consistent. So that's one of the hardest things. And also having the confidence. Um, I know me personally, I was at a point where I wouldn't think this video looked nice because I just didn't think it looked nice. But at the same time, now it's me. I don't think it looked nice, but girl, post that content. Like, who cares what they think? Just post it. It may work. And a lot of times, the content I don't like is the content people love. And I'm just like, maybe I should continue to do this. So that's another thing where I should be trying to help people and tell them, you may not like it, but someone may love it. And it's just us self-sabotaging ourselves and not having the confidence or even the courage to actually just go for it. And just taking that leap is the hardest thing ever. It is so hard. And then even when you like want to post it or you want to just take that leap, it's like you still got your foot like literally all the way back. Like, no, I'm like, no, I don't want to do it. But it's just once you do that one step, a lot of steps will start appearing, and you could see how far you can go and just removing yourself from people that discourage you. Somebody always got some shit to say all the time. It never
100%.
fails. And then
100%.
a lot of times, if you just sit there and view their life, you be like, you ain't doing shit either. So why don't I just go ahead and do what I want to do? Because clearly you're doing what you want to do, and that's nothing.
And I
So
think that's so powerful too. And I know people say this all the time, right? Like if someone has something to say about you, but they're not living the life that you want, why are you going to listen to them?
exactly. And it's always the ones that ain't doing shit. Always.
I would take that a step further too. And even the people who do have the life that you want, even if they didn't like your stuff, who gives a fuck?
I know. But the people that like for instance, I've had friends in my circle and my thing is, if I'm in a room full of people that you know it could serve you and give you opportunities, you're supposed to work that room and get to know the people in the room. So you saying I did not help you or encourage you or nothing, that's a lie, because I took you somewhere important where you were supposed to maneuver the room yourself. I may have introduced you to people. That's your job to get their number and connect with them and further on whatever adventures you plan on doing with your vision. And a lot of people don't understand your vision and my vision is different. Why? Because I'm Yvette and you are you. And some people always try to mix in and make you feel guilty and feel as though you never done nothing for them, and you've done so much. Because last time I checked, when have you put me in a room? Never. You know,
Never. I
yes,
love that.
never.
Never.
Like, you've never put me in a room. You never put me in a position. You don't have the abilities to do it at this moment, but you can if you push just like I push every single day.
Yeah.
So sometimes you got to remove yourself from people and you outgrow them, because then they will claim you where you at today. They did it. I don't know how you did it, because I don't know if you ghost dad or something and you just had an out of body experience in me or what, but my 24 hours is mine. It is not yours. I bust my ass to get where I'm at. And we just got to let people go and watch ourselves grow. And each level we take, we going to meet new friends and new people. That's just what it is.
And let's talk about that. That's been coming up a lot lately that I've been hearing for people because you know the saying like it's lonely at the top. As you grow,
It is.
you every level, every step, there's something that you're gonna have to get rid of. Physically,
Mhm.
mentally, emotionally, personally, people, whatever. There's always something that because I'm getting this picture of like a full glass of water, right? Like if I want to pour new water in, some water's got to come out before I can pour new water in, right?
Mhm.
So you,
Girl, my cup stay empty.
your
My
cup stays
cup,
empty.
that bad boy was dry, like a desert. I didn't have nothing for me. It was a point I never done nothing for myself for years. I have not done absolutely for myself because I was just pouring into so many people around me until I realized none of them are in my life anymore. They're gone. And it's like, it just let me know like God is taking me somewhere else. It's a hurtful feeling. It is very hurtful. I've cried nights and I had no understanding. I'm saying, like, what did I do wrong? Did I do something to them? And then I start to analyze different things that I've done. And then I realized, well, shit, they ain't do shit for me. I'm like, I'm over here beating myself up. And I just sat up here and realized they have never done nothing for me at all. And then if you even like some people I will help get a job or something and I pay them to do their job, even though I'm paying them to do their job, they still have the entitlement and feel like I'm obligated to do things for me and they're doing me a favor. You're not doing me a favor when I'm paying you to do your job. And it's just people just don't notice that. And it's messed up because you be really caring and you really be loving on your friends and your family and stuff. And for you to get so mistreated so bad, you just it's hurtful. It is hurtful. And no matter what you say, it's not gonna fix it. Cause they stuck in their ways until they start growing themselves and start understanding you and start experiencing and going through things that you went through. Then they may come back around or they may be stubborn, but that's just life, man. It's rough.
But that's where you got to choose you, right? Like you have to know,
Yeah.
like, okay, these are the pillars of my life. These are my non-negotiables. These are my boundaries. Like these are things that I get to do for me.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are not okay with those things, then you don't have to be in my life. Your
Yeah.
choice, right? Your choice. You want to stay in this realm? You got to pay to play, right?
Yeah.
You got to show up, and you got
Yep.
to show up in a way that serves both of us, right? But
Yes. So, so true.
if not, snip, snip, you're
Yep.
out, right?
Peace out.
I mean, and I'm telling you, I've cut so many people out of my life, and it's I had the most interesting conversation with my nephew, probably about a year ago now, and he got to see finally as an adult.
Oh.
He's like, "Aunt Julie, I know why you left the family." He's like, "I get it now," and I was like, "Sweetheart, I'm so glad that you see it, but all I could do is hope and pray that you would, and that someday you would do what was best for you, and
Mm.
you would get to see that." But it's the worst when it's your family, right? Especially when
Oh.
you got your nephew, your grown nephew coming back and saying, "You wouldn't believe the things that they said about you, but I know that none of them are true." And I'm like, "Okay, don't tell me the things. I don't want to know. It's fine. It's fine."
That's how close I am with my nephew too. He's like my son, but
Mm-hmm.
and he's getting a whiff of life too himself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I give him a rundown on somebody. He be like, "They're not like that." I'm like, "Okay." Next thing you know, man, you was right again.
You're
I
like,
said,
"You do you, boo. You'll find out."
yeah, I'm like, I operated with a person that does the same strategy.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Yeah.
that's what I think the beauty of youth is, like you don't know what you don't know. And most of
Mhm.
us have to find out for ourselves, unfortunately, right? Like I could make a
Yeah.
list of all of the things that my father was like, "Yeah, you shouldn't do that. I wouldn't recommend it." No, 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 no.
Mhm.
Whatever the thing is, right? And I'm like, "Okay, but I'm gonna do it anyways."
Yep. That was me. Hard headed.
I think that's most of us. I think that's most of us. But this has been beautiful talking with you today.
I know, I love
I've
it.
absolutely enjoyed this so, so much. And I would love for you to tell people like how they can work with you, how they can find you, what kind of support that you can offer. Because you already said that you're in Akron. So if anyone out there is in the Akron, Ohio area, do you still travel to Texas like you used to?
My older sister, she just moved there, and my niece, she lives there. So yes, I do travel that way.
Okay. So
Yeah.
people in the Ohio area, but again, you can do whatever you can do what you do all over the place, right?
Yes,
You're just a phone
definitely.
call away. So
Yes.
what is there a specific type of entrepreneur or type of business owner that you prefer to work with or that you work with most often?
Um, it's nothing in particular, honestly. I love childcare. I love it. Um, so that is one of them, but I done had a cleaning business previously before when my husband passed. I took over and then I didn't like it no more. But I know about cleaning businesses. I have I invested in a hair salon. I invested in that and I'm currently working on a pet store.
Oh
So
man, so you
so
really
yeah. So yeah, that and real estate. So
okay.
so yeah, those are like one of my top ones that I really do
Okay.
a lot. So
Yeah. And so what's the easiest way for people to connect with you if they want your support, want your
um
services, want to
literally
feel this beautiful energy?
literally everything is Life Her podcast on all my social media platforms. Other than that, it's Life Her Vet, VETTE. You could contact me, and even my email is lifeherpodcast@gmail.com. So I'm very organized.
No, that's perfect. The
I don't want
easier
to
the better.
confuse. Yeah, I don't want to like confuse people with different things. So that's how I could get contacted. And also have my YouTube channel when has to do with childcare, and I have a lot of information on there. It's Vet the childcare therapist. So I do have that page as well when I talk about childcare and help people and let them know the things I went through, open up a daycare center, losing a daycare center, and everything that comes with it.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for coming
Thank
on today. I
you.
loved meeting you. It's been
Yes.
fantastic.
I know. Shout out to Threads for
I know, right?
letting us meet.
I love it. I love it. All right.
Yes.
Until next time, beautiful people, have a good day.